Hi, I'm Debbie Foreman. Welcome back to another episode of Gapcast. Today I'm kind of doing a series of recordings because I got a lot to say. And here at Gapcast, we talk about the world of gaps, gaps that hinder progress, how to overcome those gaps, solutions, so on and so forth, because gaps are systemic problems. They're talked about widely. They're talked about almost every day. They're not addressed systemically, and that is what we do here at GapTrax for the last 35 plus years. Anyhow, yeah, the gaps are my world, and I just today I just want to say it. Okay, so usually I do reactions to famous people that are talking about the world gaps, and they talk about it, they shine a light on it, they spotlight it, they highlight it, but they don't come in with the framework or the solution to overcome it. So we know they're there, but then we're like, and then what? Okay. Now, I know what I'm about to say is going to sound very broad and kind of hypothetical, but for 35 years doing this, I'm telling you what I'm going to tell you is true. Behind every gap is a what the fuck moment or a what the fuck thought. And those are smothered by taboos. So follow my train of thought here. And I'm going to show you this. My keynotes are on this. A lot of our content is on this. A lot of the stuff that we work with systemically inside of organizations is actually on this. But people are like, oh my God, did you say WTF? Are you going to talk about, but we need to talk about serious stuff. Well, I'm talking about the serious stuff. And that's the WTF, the what the fuck. How does this play out? All right. Somebody walks up to you and says, can you do me a favor? Can you put your car on the left side of the street? And you look across the street, you're on a one-way street. And you're like, but I can't because it's a one-way. Oh, no, just move it to the left. And this just happened to me, okay, on a one-way street. And your brain is like, what the fuck? It's right then and there that one of three things happen, okay? We either say, yeah, sure, I'm going to go. Your brain has already done the WTF. You're like, but the person asking you this is in a car that can give you a ticket. So it's not the police, it's those city ticket guys, right? And you look at him and you're like, but if I put my car to the left, I'm going to be facing the wrong way. Then you're going to ticket me like on the other side. You get in your car and you move it and you just go away, okay? Or you stay where you are and you hash it out. Like, dude, man, what are you talking about? All day, every day, we go through these WTF moments. The thing is that we become accustomed to them because we learn from the time that we are young that it's like skirt over it or don't question or that's an authority like the ticket guy or or just move on. And so what do? We start patchworking all these WTF moments and they start stacking and stacking and stacking. But what we don't do or what doesn't happen is that we don't develop the skill to recognize that a WTF moment causes a gap. And then we don't learn the skill to work through it when it happens and to be able to get past it. So the gap widens. Why do we not do it? Because there's taboos. What are those taboos? The taboo that, if I say something, I can get in trouble, or I was taught not to speak to authorities or to not to speak back, or it's impolite, or it's going to bring something to myself. Whatever that taboo is, or I'm talking to someone from a different culture, a different socioeconomic background, whatever it might be. And so that's not proper, that's not correct, that's not that. I better not confront it. And that taboo stacks onto the fact that you just had a WTF moment. I just remembered one right now, just as I was talking. This was years ago. I was on an international flight and I was flying through Houston at the American Airlines, and it's got that massive terminal. It's like, I don't know, 40 gates or something like that. And I had been scheduled to fly. I had done the international part, and now I was going to do the domestic part. And then there was I was at like one of the early gates, like gates 2 or 3. Then we were told that we were being transferred to the end gate, so you had to go this whole horseshoe thing and get to the other side, and you had like 15 minutes to get there. And then we get an hour goes by, flight's delayed, there was a storm, and then we get sent to the middle. We got to rush there. A couple hours go by, then we're told that the flight's canceled. All right, everybody's been through this at least once in their life if you're a frequent traveler. And then now there's nowhere to go. nothing to do. We wait in line, get to the customer service, and they're like, sorry, nothing to do. And I said, can I speak to a manager, please? And the answer is, if management doesn't care, why should I? Because you're human, because you're paid to, because. So what do we learn to do? We learn not to question, or we blow up and explode and unleash and Debbie becomes a Karen. I don't know. And that skill set of not recognizing right then and there that you're in a WTF moment. And I swear I can list them out forever. And if I start, I'm not going to stop. But I think I've given you 2 examples that just kind of show that it just happens all the time. But it happens inside the workforce and in the workplace where we're given instruction, we're demanded, we're reprimanded, we're improperly informed, incomplete information. And those are constant all day WTF. Somebody's 5 hours late, but they expect you to stay. Whatever it is, okay? Or me today, I was late because I was dealing with the ticket thing and, whatever. And then I expect people to wait to be here so I can record. Yeah, hey guys. Whatever that is, those WTF moments, the skill that is required, especially in the workforce, just recognize I just had a WTF moment. What is that taboo that I associate confronting that with? Watch how easy this is. Just watch, okay? I'm going to share 2 little things and we're done. Because now all I want you to do is think WTF, 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 WTF every single time. You're like, and sorry, let me go back for a sec. How do you recognize a WTF moment? You're like, what? Serious? Gotta be joking. Huh? No. Okay. So here goes Debbie, always having the hard time sharing these screens. All right, here we go. What is the framework to get through a WTF moment? Hold on. Now we got it. All right. What's the framework to go through a WTF moment? First of all, recognize the fact that if you let a WTF moment go, you don't address it. You don't address it because there's some type of societal taboo. You are going to create a gap. And that gap will get bigger because at some point in time, somebody's going to say, but wait, you did what you shouldn't have done, or you didn't do what you should have done. You're going to say, but I was told to or not to the contrary. And then that gap, and then you got to cover your ass, CYA, and then it goes, and that's where it goes from here. Okay, now let's look at this through framework, and I'm going to stop using bad words. Information, affirmation, confirmation. Yeah, it sounds like kind of brandy, but that's just how the English language rolls out. Information. So I'm told to put my car on the left side of the street facing opposite direction on a one-way street. I was given information. I was told what to do. Most people assume that once they're information, they go and they jump over to confirmation. They assume that affirmation and confirmation are the same thing. They are not. I've given information. Confirmation is the final end data. True, false. Okay? The affirmation is me restating, or the person restating. So you've been given a WTF piece of information. Go park your car on the other side facing the wrong way by an authority. And then you turn and you say, excuse me, sir. I'd like to just affirm that we are on the same page. You are giving me an instruction to go park facing the wrong way on a one-way street. I'm identifying that. Is that correct? And then I'm going to get a confirmation. Yes, that is correct. Or no, what you understood was incorrect. What you identified as correct is incorrect, or what you identified as whatever is not. That affirmation process, that identification, I am identifying my ability to process what I understood as incoherent. Okay, try it again. Huh? What? Serious? Got to be joking. WTF? I've been given information. Coherence. It doesn't make sense. That is the information. I come and say, I would like to affirm. I'm trying to identify that what my understanding is from the information is A, B, or C. Correct? Not correct. And then if you're saying you are correct, that information is correct, that's exactly what I'm saying, then you say, well then, how do I get through this? Or what's the best way? What's my pathway? What's my route? What's the direction I'm supposed to go? Because to me, that doesn't make sense. You're affirming that this is correct. I'm asking you, I'm affirming. You're saying yes. That goes to confirmation. So I need you to guide me because I just don't understand it. 90% of the time when that WTF comes, you're saying, let me see, sir, you're asking me to park my car on the opposite side on a one-way street and you're the ticket dude? Am I understanding that correct? That there's not going to be a problem? I didn't say that. Well, if you didn't say that, then I'm affirming what? The information you gave me. I'm going to try it again. Sir, you asked me to point the car I'm affirming. You asked me to point the car on the other side in the wrong direction. Correct or incorrect? Yes. Correct, you asked me to do that. Correct. Second part of that correct statement, you are now telling me that I'm not going to have problems. I didn't say that. Well, sir, if you didn't say that and you can't if you can't confirm my affirmation, if you cannot confirm my affirmation, then what am I supposed to do with the car? You can't be where you are now. What am I supposed to be? That's my pathway. It's as simple as this. Information, data given. WTF, what? It doesn't make sense. It's incoherent. I come back and I restate it because I'm trying to identify that what I just heard didn't make sense. And then somebody's going to confirm yes or no. And if it continues not making sense, there's no way out. Simple as that. Now, just to show you, because I know it sounds crazy, but WTF moments, they matter, all right? And there's those gap taboos behind them. And I always talk about it. And this is part of my keynote thing. You can always come here, but I just wanted to bring this up to show that this is a reality that we don't, now I'm on the other page. Let's try this again. I just want to go back for a moment. And I said that taboos are associated to the gaps. Behind most gaps are taboos, and under those taboos are the WTF moments. When do you start to realize in the workforce or within an organization or within yourself, in your career, in your life, within your work, okay, that gap is really starting to hinder your progress because you're stagnant, because you're not qualified, because the competition's getting you, because you're not getting the results. But when you actually look at that, I want you to do a deep dive in your mind and go, wait a second. What taboos am I confronting that I'm having a hard time confronting? Is it because I was taught to be polite? Is it because I learned whatever? Is it because I'm afraid of being judged? Whatever that taboo is. And then I want you to take that taboo and bring it all the way back to that WTF moment. It's a tension that nobody can explain, but you feel it burning inside of you. Hesitation. Nobody wants to admit the disconnect between effort and results and the constant silent friction draining confidence, draining execution, affecting leadership, transforming into a negative culture, and stumping growth. But what happens in those WTF moments that are associated to taboos that create gaps? Let me say that one more time. What is the power of those WTF moments associated to taboos that create gaps and gaps that keep widening? You often feel like you're the problem. I feel like I'm the problem. We feel like we're the problem. We don't know how to confront it with information, affirmation, and confirmation, and almost nobody has a framework to transform it. Not anymore. So, where am I going with this? Just to end it, start documenting every what, WTF moment you have. Ridiculous. It can be something on the street, something at home. We put, my list goes on forever, but we accidentally put like, what do you call it? Like cilantro and parsley leaves down into the disposal, and the stems got wrapped up, and then everything backed up in the thing. And I call the plumber, and I'm like, sink's backed up, disposal, we made a mistake. Well, if you made a mistake and knew you shouldn't, then why did you do it? I didn't call to be guided in my confessional. I called because I need you to come. Yes, but if you knew better. So I'm being given a moral lesson. And then I'm thinking, how desperate am I to get that sink unclogged? Because it's expected that I am going to take on the moral lesson of me making a mistake and putting the stem stuff down there. Or because I've been taught, should I be quiet? Should I not say anything because I need it and because they have the service because they've done it before? Or do I say, I'm sorry, sir. The information you gave me is that I should have been more conscious. Not that you're coming here. I'm affirming that. Is that correct? Or did you offer me a service to come and help me because I made a mistake? It's that taboo of confrontation where we give in, and then we have to have someone in our home that we don't want. But once you learn this skill, I've been given information that is not coherent to the fact that I called to admit that I had made a mistake. I was given a moral lesson. I needed somebody that said, oh, well, happens all the time, or it doesn't, whatever. But, this can happen. We're on our way, and we're going to solve your problem. That's what I needed to hear. But I was being forced to accept something because of a WTF moment, because the taboo of not being confrontational in the moment of need. But once you learn that skill, I'm affirming it. Did you just say that to me, sir? Did you offer to come and solve my problem? No, I did not offer. Yes, I did say that to you. Thank you for the confirmation. I'm not going to be needing your services. I will find somebody else. Thank you very much. And now you get to move forward to not accepting the unacceptable. So I just want you to start looking at all the WTF moments in your life. I want you to look at them, think about them. Information, affirmation, confirmation. Information, affirmation, confirmation. Information, affirmation, confirmation. Do not skip the middle part. That's where the gap is. You have information, you have confirmation, but you did not affirm and make the other person spit back what they said to you. Information, affirmation, confirmation. Get past your WTFs. Look at the taboo that you're afraid to confront. Close the gap. Move forward. If you have any questions, contact us. I'm Debbie Foreman. This is Gapcast. Over and out.